Peace and love, and welcome back to the palace. I am currently dog sitting at my mother's house. I have Thor just below the camera, begging for me to throw a ball. Go get it. Lilo is hanging out on the porch with me. She's not as active. She's kind of like me, but yeah, I felt called by my spleen to sit and talk. So I'm listening to my spleen, and that's what the whole nature of this video is about to begin with, and most likely why you clicked on it. So if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for returning and continuing to follow me on my journey of self-discovery and understanding and really learning to move through this earth experience in the highest vibration way possible and in the most aligned way to continue to move towards my joy. And if you are new here, then hello, welcome, and I trust that you will receive all your little jewels and nuggets of wisdom from things that I have to share and other videos that I've posted on here as I continue to move through that. A lot is occurring and changing. Tomorrow, as on the day that I'm recording this, Monday, is the triple conjunction of Uranus, Mars. Hey, leave that alone. Leave it alone. Leave it. Thank you. And North Node conjunction. Uranus, Mars, North Node conjunction. And I know a lot will be changing by the time I'm recording this now, but I can already sense that some of what I might say now will feel different by the time that happens, because a lot of change is coming for all of us, but I'll not digress. So, give me the ball. Go get it, Lilo. I'm trying to keep them distracted. If I put them in the house, I have a feeling they'll be very upset with me. So, anyhow, the sun has just gone over this tree, so I'm nice and shady here now. Oh, I just threw that over the fence. Yeah. So, this is just a little download that I wanted to share really quickly as I'm sitting with it and feeling into it about learning more about the spleen. And you may be Splenic Authority if you're watching this video, which is the oldest awareness center that we have in our bodies, the most primal, the most ancestral, tribal. And I'm grateful for it because actually it's something that I've been tapping into and I've kind of worked from the splenic place way before I knew I was, and then through conditioning definitely stopped doing it. As I was learning more about the spleen, I learned that the spleen is connected to your lymphatic system, and I literally was just searching a couple of days ago about why do I still have these bags under my eyes? Why I'm getting sleep? Do I need to elevate this and that? And in the videos, one person said that so I looked up why I was getting bags under my eyes, and it said it could be your lymph system isn't draining correctly. So I watched all these videos about how to stimulate your lymph and move it out and move it away because it can't stimulate itself. You have to stimulate it. And then I was learning about the spleen and how the spleen is connected to the lymphatic system. So if you're not listening to your spleen, you are literally hurting your lymph system. And your lymphatic system isn't just here, it's the whole body. It's just like a superficial layer under the skin everywhere. And they likened it to a cat-like sense. And I literally used to wear cat ears and be very cat-like. And I did put my ears down. That's okay. Maybe they'll come back one day. But learning all these little nuggets in the last couple of days, I've been sitting with those. And like when I learn something new, I like to sit and reflect and kind of like see where I've already noticed it and integrate it, because it allows me to make it more real. If I don't just listen to it and say, oh, that was cool information, and then just go about my way. If I can actually sit and then decide, okay, so where have I done that? Where have I seen that in me? And where haven't I seen it? And so for me, immediately, I already know, because the thing that it explained the most, the thing that it explained the most to me was that your spleen speaks to you, and it only speaks, well, I don't believe it only speaks once, but it majorly speaks one time. And this girl that I watched explained it that essentially if you're going on your main timeline and it's like your highest timeline and this is the path that your guides, everyone signed up for you to have, everything is working out so that you can live this highest timeline. If I'm encountering a scenario like a side quest, kind of like, imagine you're just walking on the path and somebody comes up and like, hey, would you like to bite this apple? I know that's like okay, instead of bite this apple, but even so, bite this apple. Hey, would you like to bite this apple? Immediately my body would be like, nah, don't eat that. Or I'd be like, yeah, sure, why not? And then see where it goes from there. So I'm on this main timeline and it's like, hey, do you want to eat this apple? And then the person who offers me the apple, immediately my spleen says no. I'm like, no, I don't eat that. Don't eat that. But then the mind tries to take over, because a lot of us are still deconditioning from using the mind as our main authority. Oh, he went to go get it. I'm sorry. Our mind as our main authority. I threw it over there. I'm sorry. She's like, why did you throw my ball for him? Get it, Torito. He'll bring it back. And so when you ignore that and you go into the mind space, the mind's like, oh no, well, if you say no, that's rude. Like, you're going to hurt their feelings. What if the apple's really good? What about this? Your mind starts coming up. There you go. Your mind starts coming up. I don't know where your ball is, Thor. You guys are highly distracting. Let me focus and center. So, you come up with all these reasons about why you should eat the apple, so you eat it. And then later on, little did you know, because you ate that, now this apple scent is coming off of your body as you're like walking on this path, and an animal smells you. And it's like, oh, it smells like an apple infused human. Let me go eat them, and then you get eaten or something in a more ancestral, basic way. But if you had listened to your spleen, you would have not eaten it and been fine. To take that into a more like real life, tangible, not so fantastical view, it would be like me living my life and someone saying, hey, do you want to come live here? And then immediately my spleen is like, no, that's not for you. But then I try and justify, oh, well, this, all that. And then you go, and then what the girl talked about in her video is that now you have a tangent timeline. So you have your main highest timeline, but because you've chosen not to answer the call of your spleen, you've now created this tangent timeline, and then you'll live on that one, and there'll be other opportunities, because your spirit guides are always providing opportunities for you to get back on the main timeline. There's an opportunity if someone's like, hey, I was going to go do this event, and I wanted to bring a friend along, this and that, and like you from that moment, because of this event, you'll meet some person who'll lead you back down to your main timeline. If you ignore that too, like you're like, your spleen is telling you, yeah, you should go. And then you're like, well, no, wait, I really should go do this. That's probably not a good use of my time, blah, blah, blah. Then, again, you continue. And then it's going to be so much longer until you can get back on your main timeline. It's going to be more difficult. You're gonna learn a lot of lessons along the way, but you're also not valuing the time you have here by doing that. And you're also continuing to hurt your spleen and lymphatic system. Because another thing I learned is that when you keep ignoring your spleen, then it becomes like a physical ailment on the body. After not listening to your spleen for so long, you begin to experience sicknesses, immune system disorders, or like, is it immune system she said? Yeah, immune system disorders and complications. And so a perfect example of this for me, not that it's like a huge big deal, but just one I can give you as like a way to think about this, is like I recently went on vacation, and we went to the Outer Banks of North Carolina. Everyone's having a good time. We're by the beach, we're by the water. Me and my partner are mainly the only ones who are really kind of like vegan, vegetarian, kind of eat in a different way. And so we were feeling so good. Everyone's feeling good. I'm allowing everyone's energy into my field. And they're like, oh, let's go get this. Let's go eat that. I'm eating all these things that my body doesn't normally eat. And like, oh, it'll be okay. It'll be fine. And then like, I was kind of okay. But then come back from vacation, and then that energy got taken into my normal routine. And so where I would have been like, okay, let's get back on my implementation of eating this in the morning and doing this in the afternoon, like staying on that healthy routine for my body, then it was still kind of, the energy was still going. We had another birthday coming. It was still celebration time. And then I was offered to eat some birthday cake. And I knew it. It was just kind of like, hey, you want to eat this apple? I was like, hey, would you like some cake? And I knew I shouldn't have eaten it. I knew. But little old me, not doing this anymore, but have definitely drawn a line in the sand now, said, well, if you say no, everyone's going to think you're being rude, you're being mean, you don't want to be a part of the experience, you're going to ruin, I don't know, like offend somebody, whatever. However anyone might have projected upon me, I was already feeling that. So I was like, okay, I'll just eat it. I'll be fine. I was not fine. And it's only been within like the last week and some change that my system is just starting to try to come back online. I was in intense abdominal pain for a week and some change. Thor, it's gone. It's gone. All gone. Se acabó. He saw a wasp and now he's like, it's there. Anyhow, so yeah, I had been going through some abdominal shifting for like a week. I was in just like, it felt like someone twisted my stomach and held it there. And I knew it was my body telling me. I had asked my body, I was like, what caused this? And my body was like, why don't you look back at the last week of food that you ate and tell me when you ate something green? Tell me when you ate something green. Tell me when you didn't eat something processed. Like, so I knew. I had already known, but I didn't know I was going to pay for it so harshly. And that was something I learned as well, is that when you do have splenic authority and you don't listen to it and you get sick for longer. And I don't got time for that. I don't got the energy for that. I'm trying to continue to evolve and grow and move and shift and just celebrate and enjoy my life in my physical body. If my physical body is not healthy, then nothing else can truly be enjoyable, because you're just like, this is so important to take care of. And that's something that human design has been really teaching me, outside of already knowing that we should be taking care of our bodies. It's helping me understand how to honor my body more. And the last thing I'll talk about, because I don't want this video to be too long, is that I also learned a lot of people would say like their splenic authority, because it is a full body, which I was trying to isolate it to just where my spleen was and focus on that. You're okay, Tonito. It's gone. It's gone. I want you guys to see what he looks like. Say, it's okay. It's gone. You can just chill. Lilo's over here chewing on hers. I should probably take that from her. Give me that. Give me that. Ugh. Go get it, Lilo. Don't eat it. So the last thing that I learned was that it's a full body sensation and experience, like a cat-like sense when you have those experiences. And the best way that I can explain this in the past and what I'm experiencing now in my present was when I was going to be moving into an apartment that me and a previous boyfriend, we were just supposed to go in as friends to live here. And I really wanted to get out of my mother's house. I really wanted to become independent and have my own space and to start creating my life and be like an adult in the earth plane. Please don't eat that, okay? Just chew on it if you're going to do anything. And so we go to I had already kind of been getting this feeling like, I don't know about this, but I really want to get out. Like, I was kind of desperate. And so we go to the place, we're checking it out. It's a whole other story about everything that was already wrong. Like, there was no key to any of the doors. They didn't have keys for us to have. There was like weird energy in the house. There was a hole in the floor in a room under the stairs. I was just like, my body was already like your cat-like senses, like, no, I'm not, but I didn't know what else to do. So I'm kind of still going through with it. My spirit guides are like, okay, Talisa, you're not supposed to be here. You're not supposed to be here. How can we get her to know this, guys? And I literally, hold on, I'm gonna grab it really quick. Okay, I was literally about to throw this journal away because it's so old. Go get the ball. But I had written in my journal at the time, it's a couple years old now, it's like 2019, but I wrote about the experience I had when I went, okay, that's October, hold on, getting close, about going in and the experience I had. It was in end of July. Okay, here we go. I should be able to see the word no very strongly here. I found it. Wow. I haven't read this in a really long time, so I'm sorry. So I'm in there. This is what I wrote. So we pay our first month's rent, go see place, set some intentions, try to chill, and these non-professional backwards painters came barging in because there's no key to the door to the house. So I'm just inside, and they open the door. My friend at the time, or ex-boyfriend, whatever, was in the bathroom. So I was the only one out there, and like 6 men came in and immediately circled around me. One of them was like scanning the place. One of them was like going into the rooms. Like, they were casing the place to see how easily they could take advantage of us. So backwards painters came barging in, and my womb immediately said, no, the big N-O. 3:30ish, walk in, say knock knock, anybody home, no notice, no prior entry notice, God's eye necklace, guy with balls. I wrote all this information down just in case I thought I was gonna get murdered. But it was a huge no in my whole system. Like, no, this is not, you can't stay here. You cannot be here. If you stay here, you're an idiot. You're just, we're gonna have to reincarnate you, and you're gonna have to try again, sweetheart, if you can't understand this signal. So that's something that I'm tapping more into, and I had been tapping into it for a while, of understanding that and moving and flowing from that, especially when I was living out of my car, living in a van, moving more through nature and connecting more to that primal animalistic sense of being out and aware of your environment. Okay, I should walk this way. Okay, I'm gonna go that way. Hey, the sun's right there. I feel like we should come start walking back. stuff like that. And so it's harder to do when you're in a home environment, I guess you could say, or when there's other people involved with the decision-making process. And something that I learned a lot is that people with splenic authority don't, not that they don't, there's a process of having to work on deconditioning yourself, because usually you have that instinct from your spleen telling you something that's guiding you, spirit, intuition, and then people need the mental justification, they need the mental explanation, they need the mental understanding of what's occurring. Like, I would say, I feel like I need to move here. And then I would just go do that. If it was just me, I feel like I need to go move here, I'm gonna go do it. And then when you have others in your external reality, they're like, why? What do you mean? And then the second you take it up to your mind, you're like, well, this and that, then you can start doubting yourself. Then you can, even trying to justify or logically explain intuition doesn't make sense to begin with. It's not something you can always fully explain. You just know, you just feel it. So I recently, like I said, back then it was a big no. Now it's more, it's not like it's a quiet no, but now I understand and realize I have to create more of a conscious connection with it daily, and I've been already experimenting with it and trying it out. And when something happens, when I have something stimuli, something come into my field, I immediately check in and see what my body does. Like, is it like lifting and moving towards it, or is it pushing away? Do I want to purr at it, or do I want to what am I feeling? Do I want to like nuzzle into it, or do I want to like spray it with a water bottle? Like, there are these ways that I'm sitting now with how to work with my spleen and connect more to that. And I've already kind of been wanting to do that. So like, it's just like perfect. Like, I was gifted and blessed by having that as my authority. Like, everything works out for our highest, best case scenario. So in reality, everything in our design is meant to resonate with us, and it does resonate with me to do that. It may feel a little odd at first because I did hear that the spleen is quiet, and it will be kind of difficult to hear through other conditioning. But I also highly recommend that if you are splenic, this is just kind of something I've been trying out, is to ground your energy, to go out in nature, to put your feet in the grass, to take a walk while you're thinking about something, especially like if you've already kind of gotten a pull of like, I should do this or shouldn't do this. Try not to take it into the mind space. Walk into Gaia in a neutral, healing environment, not where you can hear the freeway like a can in the backyard, but even this works. And then just sit with the feeling of the timeline options. Sit with the timeline option of doing this and see what your body feels. Sit with the timeline of doing that. It's like listening to the spleen, but then taking it into your body and like feeling it. At least that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. So to end this video, I just wanted to say, as I am doing this, I have been getting lots of hits recently, because like once you start integrating new information and like your body knows, like, oh, okay, she's aware of human design. Oh, okay, she knows about her spleen. Okay, she knows that it's in the full, she knows it's a body thing. She knows this and that. Then spirit is ready to give you more things to respond to, because they know that you're ready to consciously read it and not keep diverging from your main timeline. So in doing so, I've already been seeing things yesterday that I was sitting with, like, especially in terms of where to go next, because I am ready to go. I am ready to move. My spleen has already told me, like, it's time. So when I sit with that and think about that, all these things were coming up in my environment to feel. And I was like, oh, that feels right, or oh, that feels, And like I said, what I'm saying today may feel different after Monday with this triple conjunction. Who knows? But if there's one thing I do know, is that I can't keep dishonoring the spleen and its role in my life, in the way in which it's supposed to assist me here, especially, the tree just started waving really pretty, in the way it's supposed to assist me in moving it more into my purpose and honoring that. And to me, that feels so good and spontaneous. It reminds me of like Pocahontas energy, like just around the river bend. Like, which path do you take? Which one is pulling you? Which one is calling you? When you're on that river and it diverges, someone's offering you this, or you can go this way, like you're minding your own business, and someone's like, hey, come over here. Which one is going to lead you to something? And trust your intuition, trust your instincts. Don't go into the mental space. Don't do it. Just take it right back down and sit there and think about it. Are you okay, my dear? We've been out here for 19 minutes. I guess that's a long time when you have fur all over your body. So I'll go ahead and listen to her advice, and we'll take it back inside. But yeah, so sit with that maybe. Think about that, especially if you're splenic. Think about the ways in which you have definitely seen yourself say, oh, hell no. and you honored that, and then the ways in which you knew it was a no but you said yes anyway, or you knew it was a yes but you said no. There are all these different ways that you can experience it in your life. And then just experiment. The human design is supposed to be an experiment, so start trying it out. I've already noticed a difference, and I love experimenting, so like this is right up my alley. So yeah, me and the puppies are gonna go inside now and just hang out in some air conditioning. I'm gonna continue editing videos and continue planning, kind of planning, because you can't only make but so much of a plan. Listening to my spleen, honoring my lymphatic system, continuing to drain it. Definitely look up some YouTube videos about the way in which to like clear out the lymph system and all these things you can do to move. It was like this, to move it out and clear out that system. Okay, thanks so much for listening. It's getting a little hot now, so until I see you again, or until you click on another one of my videos, check out my description box for any information you might want in terms of connecting with me. I invite you to do so. I invite you to comment, like, subscribe, share, follow your spleen. Okay, peace and love.